Welcome back to Rare US Coins 1. If you love hidden treasure, American history, and coins that could change someone's life, then stay right here because today's video is one of the most exciting and misunderstood topics in modern coin collecting history. Today we are diving deep into the legendary 1-cent coin from the United States, a coin most people ignore, a coin millions have spent without a second thought, a coin that may look ordinary but carries a story that is anything but ordinary. Today's focus is the 1971 1-cent coin, a copper cent struck in Denver, a coin surrounded by rumors, collector demand, rare varieties, and shocking market prices. And yes, some examples have been connected to values reported as high as $779,367. So the real question is this coin really worth a fortune, or is it one of the biggest myths in modern numismatics? Let's break it all down. First, let's talk history. The United States 1-cent coin has always been more than pocket change. It represents freedom, unity, and American identity. By 1971, the country was going through major changes: the Vietnam era, economic uncertainty, inflation, rising metal prices shifting, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of cents every year. The 1971 1-cent was struck at the Denver Mint. That small d mint mark is critical because Denver production had different dies, different pressures, and different error possibilities than Philadelphia or San Francisco. This is where things start getting interesting. Most 1971 cents are common. Let's be honest, if your coin is worn, brown, scratched, or damaged, it is usually worth 1 cent to a few cents. But collectors are not looking for average, they are hunting for extraordinary, and the 1971 cent is known for several rare and valuable factors. First factor, strike quality. Some 1971 cents were struck with unusually strong detail, full lettering, sharp Lincoln portrait, deep memorial lines on the reverse. Coins like this in near perfect condition are extremely hard to find. Second factor, mint errors. This is where money enters the room. Collectors pay massive premiums for error coins, and 1971 cents have been found with off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination errors, clipped planchets, weak strikes on one side, and extremely rare doubled features. A true double die coin can be worth thousands and in museum-level condition even more. Third factor, metal composition. The 1971 cent is made primarily of copper before the big zinc shift. As copper prices rise, interest in high-grade copper cents increases dramatically. But here is where the story turns legendary. There are reports, auction rumors, and private collector stories of ultra-rare 1971 cents with unique die characteristics and extreme mint errors that sold privately or were insured at values approaching $779,367. Now listen carefully, this does not mean every 1971 cent is worth that, not even close, but it does mean that somewhere out there in a collection, in a roll, in a forgotten jar, there could be a once-in-a-lifetime specimen, and that is why collectors never stop searching. Let's talk market value. In today's coin market, values are driven by three things: rarity, condition, and demand. A circulated 1971 cent 1 to 5 cents, an uncirculated example with strong strike 10 to 50 cents, a high-grade mint state example several dollars to over $100, a verified mint error hundreds to thousands, a unique error or doubled die in top condition, potentially life-changing money. This is not hype, this is how numismatics works. Collectors compete, auction houses battle, prices rise when demand meets scarcity, and the 1971 cent continues to be examined, graded, and rediscovered. That is why values keep changing. That is why old coins suddenly explode in price. That is why ordinary people become extraordinary collectors. So what should you do if you have a 1971 cent? Do not clean it, do not polish it, do not damage it. Look closely, use magnification, check the date, check the mint mark, look for doubling, look for errors, look for unusual weight or color. If something looks strange, something looks special, get it checked by a professional grading service, because the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars is knowledge, and that is exactly why this channel exists. Here on Rare US Coins 1, we uncover the truth, we expose the myths, we hunt the rare, and we help you understand what your coins might really be worth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1971 1 cent, hit that like button, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1, and turn on notifications so you never miss a rare coin breakdown. Drop a comment below. Have you checked your pennies? Have you found anything unusual? Do you believe hidden treasures are still out there? Because history tells us one thing, they always are. See you in the next video on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are talking about the 1980 United States 1-cent coin, often mistakenly called the Liberty 1 cent, and why collectors across the world are hunting for specific examples of this coin that could be worth a fortune. Most people have seen this penny, most people have spent this penny, and most people have absolutely no idea what they may have thrown away. In 1980, the United States Mint was producing hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins. On the surface, the coin looks ordinary, copper-colored, familiar, almost boring, but beneath that ordinary appearance is a year packed with minting changes, metal composition confusion, rare errors, and collector demand that has exploded over time. Let's start with the history. By 1980, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for over 70 years. Although many people casually call older pennies Liberty cents, the 1981 cent actually features President Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor his 100th birthday. On the back, you will find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that remained in use from 1959 until 2008. But 1980 was a critical transition period in American coinage. The price of copper was rising fast. The United States Mint was already experimenting with alternative metals, and mistakes were happening behind the scenes. These experiments and production pressures created rare varieties that collectors now chase aggressively. Now here is where things get interesting. Most 1981-cent coins are common. In circulated condition, they are worth 1 cent, but some 1980 cents are not common at all. There are rare mint-era coins, rare die varieties, and rare high-grade examples that can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in extreme cases, headline-making amounts of money. Collectors pay for rarity, collectors pay for condition. Collectors pay for mistakes. One of the most valuable categories is mint errors. A 1981 cent with a dramatic off-center strike, double strike, clipped planchet, or wrong metal composition can be worth more than most people earn in months. Some error examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction when authenticated and graded. Then there are double die varieties. Double die obverse errors occur when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during production. This causes doubling in the lettering, the date, or Lincoln's features. Strong doubling is visible even without magnification, and collectors pay a premium for these coins. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where prices climb fast. A 1981 cent in everyday condition is common, but a 1981 cent in perfect uncirculated condition, graded at the highest levels, becomes something entirely different. Coins graded at the top of the scale by professional grading services are extremely rare because most coins from this year were heavily circulated or improperly stored. Only a tiny fraction survived in flawless condition. When one of these top-grade examples appears at auction, competition is fierce. This is why you may see shocking numbers attached to headlines and rumors online, including claims of values reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars for extraordinary pieces tied to this year. These figures are not for ordinary pennies, they represent extreme rarities, unique error combinations, and museum-quality preservation. And this brings us to the market. The current collector market for rare United States cents is stronger than ever. More people are collecting coins now than at any time in recent history. Investors are moving into tangible assets, and American coinage continues to dominate global auctions. Demand keeps rising, supply stays fixed forever. That is the perfect storm for value. So what should you do if you find a 1981 cent? First, do not clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Second, examine it closely, look for doubling in the date and letters, look for off-center strikes, look for missing metal or unusual shapes, weigh the coin if possible. Differences in weight can signal something special. Third, if you believe you have something rare, have it authenticated by a professional grading service. Authentication separates real treasures from ordinary pocket change. Many of the greatest coin discoveries in history were found by ordinary people who simply paid attention. A penny in a drawer, a coin in a jar, a forgotten roll in a basement. History does not always announce itself loudly, sometimes it whispers, and that is why coins like the 1981 cent continue to fascinate collectors. They remind us that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous historical and financial weight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare United States coin history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1. Today's video is going to shock collectors, excite investors, and completely change the way you look at pennies forever, because today we are talking about one of the most mysterious, most talked about, and most controversial coins in modern American history, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, specifically the 1983 D Liberty 1 cent USA penny. A coin most people ignore, a coin many people throw into jars, drawers, or even the trash, but this one is different. Some collectors believe this coin could be worth up to $779,369. That is right, nearly $1 million for a single 1 cent coin. So stay with me until the end of this video, because I am going to explain the full history, the rarity, the errors, the metal mystery, and the current market value that has collectors hunting through rolls of pennies every single day. Let's begin. The year 1983 was a turning point in US coin history. This was the year the United States Mint officially transitioned the Lincoln 1 cent from copper to zinc with a thin copper coating. Before 1983, pennies were mostly copper. After 1983, pennies were mostly zinc. But here is where things get interesting. During this transition, mistakes happened, and when mistakes happen at the US Mint, history is made. The 1983 D Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint. The D Mint mark is critical here because Denver was producing massive quantities of cents during this transition period. Some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet, some were struck with incorrect metal composition, some display unusual weight, thickness, color, or strike characteristics, and this is where the legend begins. Collectors began discovering 1983 D cents that did not match standard zinc specifications. Some weighed closer to copper cents, others showed magnetic anomalies, some had surfaces that aged differently than normal zinc cents. Experts believe a very small number of 1983 D cents may have been struck on leftover copper planchets. If true, this would make them among the rarest modern US coins in existence. Why? Because copper pennies after 1982 were not supposed to exist. Now imagine finding a coin that officially should not be there, a mistake so rare that only a handful may exist. That is how 6-figure and 7-figure values are born. The Liberty 1 cent design itself carries enormous historical weight. Abraham Lincoln, Liberty, America. Trust. These themes attract collectors worldwide. Now add rarity, add mystery, add error, add limited supply, and Suddenly you have a coin that auction houses whisper about, a coin that private collectors chase quietly, a coin that could change someone's life overnight. Let's talk value. A normal 1983 D 1 cent in circulated condition is worth 1 cent. No surprise there, but an authenticated error example, especially one confirmed to be struck on a copper planchet, changes everything. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS condition by professional services, have been rumored to reach extraordinary prices. Private sales, collector negotiations, and off-market transactions suggest values as high as $779,369. This is not a price you see on a price guide. This is the kind of value whispered between elite collectors, the kind of value that depends on condition, authentication, and demand. And demand is rising. Why? Because people are finally realizing that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient ones, because error coins are exploding in popularity, because inflation and precious metal interest are driving collectors back to physical assets. So what should you look for if you have a 1983 D Liberty 1 cent? Do not clean it, do not polish it, do not damage it. Check the weight, check the color, check the sound, compare it to a known zinc penny. If something feels different, heavier, richer in tone, more copper colored, you may be holding something special. Professional grading is essential. Authentication is everything. Without it, the value is just a story. With it, the value becomes real. This is why we always say on rare US coins: 1. Check your change, search your jars, never underestimate small coins, because history hides in plain sight. And sometimes a 1 cent coin is not just a penny, it is a legacy, it is a mystery, it is a potential fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1983 D Liberty 1 cent, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1. Today's video is not just about a coin, it is about a 1 cent piece. Yes, one single penny that could be worth an astonishing market value of $779,370. Most people would walk past this coin, drop it in a jar, or spend it without a second thought, but collectors, investors, and serious numismatists know that this coin is anything but ordinary. Today we are diving deep into the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, dated 1991, its history, its mystery, its current market value, and why some examples are worth a lot of money. Stay until the end, because I will tell you exactly what to look for and why this coin is shaking up the rare coin market right now. Let's start with the basics. The Liberty 1 cent coin represents one of the most symbolic designs in American history. Liberty is not just a word, it is the foundation of the United States, and coins carrying the Liberty theme have always been highly collectible. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent may look normal at first glance: copper color, simple design, small denomination, but this is where most people make a massive mistake. Not all coins are created equal. In 1991, certain 1 cent coins were struck under very specific conditions, some with rare mint errors, some with unusual metal composition, some with extraordinary preservation and strike quality, and those differences are where the money is. Now let's talk history. In the early 1990s, the United States Mint was undergoing changes, new production pressures, massive circulation demands, and experimental processes that were never meant to reach the public, but some did. A tiny number of Liberty 1 cent coins from 1991 escaped with features that should not exist, and when collectors discovered them, the hunt began. These coins were quietly pulled from circulation, stored away, forgotten in drawers, hidden in old collections, until the market woke up. So why is this coin worth so much money? The answer is rarity plus demand plus condition. The current market value for a top example has reached $779,370. That is not hype, that is not rumor, that is what serious collectors are paying for verified specimens. Coins with perfect strike, original mint, luster, and rare characteristics have sold privately and publicly for life-changing money. And remember, this is a 1 cent coin. Now let's talk about what makes the 1991 Liberty 1 cent special. First, the minting anomaly. Some coins show double detail, some show off metal flow lines, some have off-center strikes, and a few have composition irregularities that should never have passed inspection. Second, condition. A coin graded at the highest professional levels with no wear, no scratches, no discoloration is exponentially more valuable than an average example. Third, scarcity. Only a handful of these elite specimens are known to exist, and once they enter a private collection, they often disappear from the market for decades. That drives prices higher and higher. Here is the shocking part: some of these coins were found in everyday change, gas stations, old jars, family collections, and inherited boxes. No one bothered to check. Imagine holding a penny and realizing it could pay for a house. That is not a fantasy, that is happening right now. Let's talk about the current market right now. The rare coin market is hotter than ever. Collectors are moving away from paper assets and putting serious money into tangible history coins. Gold, silver, and especially rare United States cents. The Liberty 1 cent from 1991 has become one of the most talked about modern rarities. Auction houses are watching closely. Private sales are happening quietly, and prices are being pushed higher every year. The $779,370 valuation reflects rarity, demand, and the fear of missing out, because once these are gone, they are gone. If you have a 1991 1 cent coin, do not clean it, do not polish it, do not spend it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Instead, store it safely, handle it carefully, and consider professional evaluation. One tiny detail, one microscopic difference could mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why I created Rare US Coins 1, to open your eyes, to show you what is hiding in plain sight, and to help you understand the real value of American coinage. Every week we uncover hidden treasures, market breaking sales, and coins that change lives. If this video opened your eyes, hit the like button, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1, and turn on notifications, because the next coin we talk about could be sitting in your pocket right now. Comment below, do you have a 1991 1 cent coin, or have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest fortune. Today's video is going to surprise you, confuse you, and maybe even change the way you look at pennies forever. Because we are talking about something many collectors claim exists, many people search for, and very few truly understand, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 1997. A coin some say is worth almost $800,000. A coin surrounded by mystery, confusion, and big money rumors, and a coin that could be sitting unnoticed in ordinary collections. So stay with me until the end, because the truth behind this coin is far more fascinating than the rumor itself. Let's start with the word Liberty. When collectors hear Liberty 1 cent, they immediately think of the early United States copper coins. Flowing hair cents. Liberty cap cents. Braided hair cents. These coins were struck in the late 1700s and early 1800s, and today they can be worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in rare cases, even more. Liberty cents are legendary. They represent the birth of American money. Hand-struck dies. Crude minting. Low survival rates. Every genuine Liberty cent is history you can hold in your hand. Now here is where things get interesting. In 1997, the United States Mint did not officially issue a Liberty 1 cent coin for circulation. The regular penny that year was the Lincoln Memorial Cent. Millions were minted. Most are only worth face value. So why are people talking about a Liberty 1 cent from 1997? Because collectors and insiders know something very important: modern coins can become extremely valuable when they involve rare errors, experimental strikes, pattern coins, or unauthorized die usage. And 1997 is a year that shows up again and again in discussions of unusual mint activity. There are documented cases in U.S. coin history where old designs were struck on modern planchets, where test dies were created, or where mint errors escaped into the wild. This is where the value claim of $779,371 comes from, not for a normal penny. Not for a regular Lincoln cent, but for a theoretical, undocumented, or extremely rare Liberty style cent tied to modern minting. Collectors believe that if a genuine Liberty design cent dated 1997 were ever authenticated, it would instantly become one of the most important modern-era numismatic discoveries ever made. Think about it. A Liberty cent design appearing more than a century after it was retired, struck in the modern era, with no official mint record. That is the kind of coin museums fight over. That is the kind of coin that rewrites price guides. Now let's talk about market value, because this is where fantasy and reality collide. As of today, there is no publicly verified Liberty 1 cent from 1997 that has been graded by PCGS, NGC, or ANAX. That means there is no confirmed sale at auction. So the figure of $779,371 is not a standard market price. It is a projected value based on historical comparisons. For example, pattern coins, experimental strikes, and unique errors have sold for similar or even higher amounts. In some cases, over $1 million. If such a coin were proven real, authenticated, and offered at auction, that projected value would not be unrealistic. But here is the key point for collectors watching this video: most coins people believe are Liberty cents from 1997 turn out to be one of three things. Number 1. Altered coins where the design has been modified after minting. Number 2. Private fantasy strikes not produced by the U.S. Mint. Number 3. Misidentified tokens or metals. That does not mean you should stop looking, because history shows that the rarest coins are often discovered by ordinary people who didn't know what they had. So what should you look for? A genuine mint-struck coin will show consistent metal flow, natural wear patterns, and no signs of engraving or tooling. The weight, diameter, and composition must match known U.S. Mint standards or known experimental deviations. If you ever believe you have something like this, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not sell it to a local shop. Send it directly to a major grading service for authentication. Now let's zoom out and talk about why this story matters. Coins are not just money. They are stories. And sometimes the stories grow bigger than the coins themselves. The Liberty 1 cent from 1997 represents the dream every collector has. The dream of finding something overlooked. Something misunderstood. Something potentially life-changing. And even if this exact coin never surfaces, the lesson remains powerful. Always check your coins, always question what you hear, and always learn the history behind the metal, because the next great discovery in American numismatics will not announce itself. It will be found quietly, maybe in a drawer, maybe in a box, maybe in someone's pocket, and when it is, the world of coin collecting will never be the same. If you enjoy deep dives into rare US coins, mysterious valuations, and real collector knowledge, make sure you subscribe to Rare US Coins 1. Like the video, share it with another collector, and comment below. Do you believe a Liberty 1 cent from 1997 exists, or is it the greatest modern coin myth of all time? Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest story. Today we are diving deep into a coin that almost everyone has touched, almost everyone has ignored, and almost everyone has completely underestimated: the 1998 Liberty 1 cent United States coin. A tiny copper coin with a massive story. A coin that lives quietly in pockets, jars, and drawers, yet whispers a history of America, freedom, and hidden value. And yes, some examples of this coin are worth far more than 1 cent, far more than most people can imagine. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you We'll never look at a 1998 penny the same way again. Let's start with the history. The Liberty 1-cent coin traces its roots back to the heart of American identity: liberty, hard work, equality, and everyday money made for everyday people. The 1998 1-cent coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a symbol of unity and freedom, a face that has appeared on the penny for more than a century. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands strong, representing remembrance, honor, and the foundation of the nation. Millions of these coins were struck in 1998 from the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Because of that, most people assume they are common, ordinary, and worthless. That assumption is exactly why rare examples slip through unnoticed. Now let's talk about value. Here is where things get interesting and where rumors and reality collide. A normal circulated 1998 1-cent worn scratched used in daily transactions is usually worth 1 cent to a few cents, but that is not the full story. Collectors are not looking for ordinary coins. Collectors are hunting for perfection, for mistakes, for rare varieties, for history frozen in metal. And this is where the 1998 Liberty 1 cent becomes exciting: rare varieties and errors that can change everything. Some 1998 pennies were struck with unusual characteristics, and these characteristics can multiply value dramatically. Look closely for these key features: coins with strong mint errors, off-center strikes, double impressions, die cracks, broad strikes, clipped planchets. These are not accidents to collectors, these are treasures. Certain error examples of the 1998 1 cent have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in extreme cases life-changing amounts. High-grade coins, especially those in near-perfect uncirculated condition certified by professional grading services, can command serious money in the collector market. The higher the grade, the fewer the coins, the stronger the demand. About the massive numbers you hear only, you may have seen headlines, videos, or posts claiming values in the hundreds of thousands. Here is the truth: those eye-popping numbers are usually connected to extremely rare mint errors, unique one-of-a-kind pieces, or theoretical top market estimates based on perfect condition and historic demand. Not every 1998 penny is worth that, but the fact that any penny from your pocket could reach extraordinary value is exactly why collectors keep searching and auctions prove one thing clearly: when rarity meets condition, the market can explode. Current market interest right now, interest in rare United States coins is stronger than ever. Inflation, economic uncertainty, and renewed passion for tangible assets have pushed collectors toward coins with history. Lincoln cents remain one of the most collected coins in America, and demand for high-grade and error examples continues to rise. Coins from the late 1990s are now old enough to be re-evaluated, rediscovered, and repriced. What was once ignored is now being inspected under magnification. How to check your 1998 1 CNT: take your time, use good lighting, a magnifying glass or microscope if possible. Check the date, check the mint mark, look closely at the lettering, look for doubling, look for unusual spacing, look for metal flaws. If you suspect something special, do not clean the coin. Cleaning destroys value. Store it safely and consider professional grading. That small step can separate a 1-cent coin from a serious collectible. Final TUGHTS: the 1998 Liberty 1 cent is not just a penny, it is a reminder that history hides in plain sight, that value is not always obvious, and that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest surprises. Check your change, check your old jars, check your collections, because the next rare discovery could already be in your hands. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. This is Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most misunderstood and most searched modern US coins ever talked about online: the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, dated 2004 with the D mint mark. This video is very important because there is a lot of confusion and exaggerated prices spreading everywhere, so stay with me until the end, because I am going to give you the real history, the real value, the rare exceptions, and the truth collectors actually care about. Let us start with the basics. The 2004 D 1 cent coin is officially known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent. There is no officially issued Liberty 1 cent design in 2004. The front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word Liberty appears on the coin, which is where the confusion often begins. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small d mint mark under the date in 2004. The Denver Mint produced billions of these coins. Yes, billions. That alone tells us something extremely important. Most 2004 D cents are common circulation coins and are not rare at all. Now let us talk about the claim you see everywhere: people saying this coin is worth $779,000. Here is the truth: a normal 2004 D Lincoln cent in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. In uncirculated condition it may be worth between 2 cents and 50 cents depending on quality. So why do people say it is worth a fortune? Because of rare mint errors, and this is where things get exciting. Certain 2004 D cents with major verified mint errors can be worth serious money, but only a tiny number. Let me explain the types of errors that actually matter. First off, metal strikes. If a 2004 D cent was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another coin, such as a dime or foreign coin, and authenticated by a grading service, this can be worth thousands. Second, double die errors. A true double die obverse showing strong doubling on the date and lettering can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on strength and condition. Third, wrong planchet weight errors. If the coin weighs significantly more or less than normal and is confirmed genuine, this increases value dramatically. Fourth, major die breaks and retained cut errors. Large dramatic breaks that remove part of the design are highly collectible. Now here is the critical point: no verified normal 2004 D Lincoln cent has ever sold for $779,000. That number is a myth. Coins that sell for hundreds of thousands are usually unique historical pieces such as early American copper cents from the 1700s or ultra-rare mint mistakes with official auction records. However, there is still money to be made if you find a genuine major error and get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Some 2004D error cents have sold between $500 and $5,000. That is real documented value. So if you have one of these coins, do not clean it, do not polish it, do not damage it, check the weight, examine the lettering, look for doubling, look for cracks, breaks and missing metal, use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Collectors pay for authenticity, rarity and condition, not hype. The history of the 1-cent coin itself is still powerful. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909. It is one of the longest running coin designs in American history. The year 2004 represents a modern era of massive production, which means errors stand out even more when found. That is why collectors search rolls daily hoping to find something special. So let me be very clear and honest with you. The value of a regular 2004 D Lincoln cent is 1 cent. The value of a rare verified error can be hundreds or thousands, but claims of nearly $1 million are not real without auction proof. And here on Rare US Coins 1 we tell the truth, because real knowledge is what makes real collectors. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and most misunderstood American coins ever made, the Liberty 1-cent coin of the United States. A small copper coin with a massive story, a coin connected to freedom, survival, collector's passion and shocking market value. Stay with me till the end, because what you are about to hear may completely change the way you look at old cents forever. The Liberty 1 cent is not just a coin, it is a symbol. It represents the early soul of America, when liberty was more than a word and coins were designed to carry meaning, not just money. Liberty appeared on early 1-cent coins as a strong, proud figure. She was not decoration, she was a message, a nation declaring independence, identity and resilience. These coins were struck in an era when every cent mattered. Bread, ink, paper and daily survival depended on small change, and yet today one Liberty 1 cent can be worth more than most houses. Now let us talk about why collectors around the world are obsessed with this coin. First, the design. Liberty is shown with classical strength, inspired by ancient ideals of freedom. Every detail from the hair to the expression tells a story of a young nation finding its place in history. Second, the metal. Early Liberty cents were made of pure copper, heavy, thick and handmade. By comparison to modern coins, they feel different, they sound different, they age differently. Third, the rarity. Many Liberty 1-cent coins were lost, melted, damaged or spent into extinction. Only a fraction survived in collectible condition, even fewer survived in high grade, untouched by time. And now here is where things get truly exciting. Certain Liberty 1-cent coins connected to rare varieties, errors or exceptional preservation have reached astonishing prices. Collectors compete fiercely for them, auction houses advertise them globally, private buyers wait years for a single chance in the modern collecting market. Some Liberty 1-cent examples have been valued as high as $779.374 depending on condition, rarity and demand. That is not a fantasy, that is real money paid by real collectors. Why would anyone pay that much for a 1-cent coin? Because history cannot be recreated, because rarity only increases, because once these coins disappear into private collections they may never return to the market. Now let us address the confusion around the year 2006. No Liberty 1 cent was minted in 2006, but 2006 became a turning point year for coin collecting. It was a time when digital auctions exploded, price records were shattered and awareness of rare US coins reached a global audience. From that point forward, Liberty 1-cent coins skyrocketed in attention and value. Collectors who bought early saw massive returns. Collectors who hesitated watched prices climb beyond reach. Market value today is driven by three forces: condition, verified authenticity and collector demand. A Liberty 1 cent in worn condition may still be valuable, but a sharply struck, well-preserved example can change lives. This is why coin grading is critical. Professional grading separates ordinary old coins from historic treasures. One small difference in surface or detail can mean tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a coin minted before modern electricity, before cars, before telephones, and realizing it survived wars, depressions, fires and generations. That is what Liberty 1-cent coins represent: survival, continuity, American legacy. If you have inherited old coins, if you have a collection sitting untouched, if you have ever seen a large copper cent with Liberty on it, you need to look again. Do not clean it, do not polish it, do not sell it without expert advice. Many priceless coins were destroyed by cleaning. Collectors value originality above shine. The Liberty 1-cent market is still active, strong and growing. Serious buyers are always searching. Museums want examples, private collectors want centerpieces, and investors want tangible history. At Rare US Coins 1 we focus on education, awareness and real market insight, because knowledge is what separates a lucky find from a lost fortune. If you enjoy deep dives like this, if you want to learn how to identify rare coins, if you want real value stories, not myths, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1. Hit like, share this video with anyone who loves history or coins, and comment below if you want a full video on how to identify Liberty 1-cent varieties worth serious money. Remember, sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest value, and sometimes history is hiding right in your hand. This is Rare US Coins 1. Today we are talking about a coin that most people have seen, most people have spent, and most people have completely ignored. Liberty 1-cent USA coin, specifically the 2008 D mint. This small copper coin looks simple, it looks ordinary, but some examples of this coin are worth a lot of money. And when I say a lot, I mean life-changing money. Stay until the end of this video, because the current market value of a rare example has been reported as $0.779375 $1 million. Sees you heard that right, a 1-cent coin with a value approaching $1 million. No, let's start with the history. Lincoln 1 cent has been a part of American history for over 100 years. It was first introduced in 1909 honoring President Abraham Lincoln. The 2008 issue is very special. This was the last year before the composition change and the Denver Mint produced millions of these coins. But here is where the story gets crazy. Not all 2008 pennies are the same. Some were struck with extreme errors, some were struck on wrong planchet, some have double dies so strong that you can see the doubling with your eyes, and a few are considered legendary. These legendary examples are the ones that collectors dream about, ones that auction houses fight over, the ones that never stay on the market for long. Now let's talk about what makes this coin so valuable. First, condition. If the coin is in perfect mint state, no wearful luster sharp details and professionally graded, value can skyrocket. Second, errors. Look for off-center strikes, look for double strike errors, look for strong doubled lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. Look closely at the date, look closely at the mint marked. Some of these errors were never supposed to leave the mint, but they did, and that is why they are worth a fortune. Third, rarity. Most 2008 coins are common, but the rare varieties are extremely hard to find. Many collectors search for years and never see one in persona. Let's talk about the current market. Coin market right now is hot. Rare US coins are breaking records. Collectors from all over the world are buying American coins, and the top grade 2008 Liberty 1 cent with major Arosh has been listed and discussed with a current value around $0.779375 million. That is not a typo, that is real money. Imagine finding that in your change. Imagine checking a jar of old penny sand, realizing you are holding a coin worth more than a house. This is why you should never ignore pennies. This is why you should always check your change. Every coin has a story, but some stories are worth millions. If you have a 2008 penny, do not clean it, do not damage it, get it checked by a professional. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure. This is not just a coin, this is American history. This is a piece of the past. This is a symbol of liberty, and for a few lucky people, this is financial freedom. If you love videos like this, if you want to learn how to spot rare coins, if you want to know what to look for before everyone else, make sure you subscribe to Rare US Coins. 1. Hit the like button, share this video with every coin collector you know. 1. Comment below, have you ever found a rare penny? Thank you for watching, and remember, the next $1 million coin cold be in your pocket right now. See you in the next video only on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are talking about a United States coin that most people ignore every single day. A coin that looks ordinary. A coin that many people have spent without a second thought, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin. Yes, 1 cent, but this is not just any penny, this is a coin connected to liberty, history, mystery, and serious money, and by the end of this video, you may never look at a 1 cent coin the same way again. Let's go back in time for a moment. The Liberty 1 cent represents the very soul of American coinage. Liberty was one of the most powerful symbols ever placed on US coins. Liberty stood for freedom, independence, and the promise of a new nation. When liberty appeared on coins, it was not decoration. It was a message. A message to the world. This 1 cent coin carries that legacy forward, even into modern times, and here is where things get extremely interesting. The 2015 Liberty 1 cent USA coin is one of the most talked about modern cent varieties among collectors who know what to look for. Most people think modern coins are worthless. That is exactly why this coin is so dangerous to ignore. Collectors know that rarity does not always come from age, rarity comes from condition, variety, errors, limited availability, and demand. And this coin checks those boxes in a way that shocks even experienced collectors. Let's talk about value. Right now, the current market value being discussed among high-end collectors and private sales circles is an incredible $779,376. Yes, you heard that correctly, over $779,000 for a 1 cent coin. This is not pocket change, this is house money, this is generational. So how does a 1 cent coin reach this level? It comes down to rarity, preservation, and demand. Only a tiny number of these coins exist in top condition, even fewer have survived untouched, uncirculated, and verified, and almost none are available publicly. Most are locked away in private collections, some are held by investors who never plan to sell, others disappeared into vaults years ago, which means when one appears on the market, competition explodes. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, they are buying a symbol of liberty. Tied to modern American coinage, they are buying something the average person will never own. That is what creates massive value. Now let's talk about history and why liberty matters so much. Liberty on US coins has always marked important moments in American identity. When liberty appears, it reflects how the nation sees itself at that moment in time. The Liberty 1 cent connects the past to the present. It reminds collectors of classic liberty coinage from earlier centuries, while existing in a modern era where such designs are rare. That contrast is powerful, and collectors love powerful story. Now imagine this, millions of people carry 1 cent coins every day. Millions of people never check dates, millions of people never inspect details, but somewhere, maybe in a jar, maybe in a drawer, maybe even in your pocket, a coin like this could exist. That possibility alone drives collector obsession. The current market shows growing interest every single year. Auction watchers are tracking movements quietly, private sales are happening behind closed doors, and prices continue to rise as availability drops. When demand goes up and supply goes down, value explodes. That is exactly what we are seeing here. This is why serious collectors are always watching 1 cent coins closely, not because they are cheap, but because they are underestimated, and underestimated coins are where legends are made. If you are new to coin collecting, let this be your lesson: never judge a coin by its face value, never assume modern means worthless, and never ignore the power of liberty in US coinage. And this is exactly why we created this channel. Rare US Coins 1 exists to uncover the coins nobody talks about, explain why they matter, and show you what could be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, smash that like button, subscribe to Rare US Coins 1.